Hey guys, this is Cam315, and I'm back at it with another video for you guys. And this is another Clippers playoff recap where the LA Clippers got a much needed victory in a must win game. And we utterly destroyed the Dallas Mavericks by the score of 154 to 111. Now, let me just say this before I start everything. Um, if you haven't heard of the if you haven't heard or seen the Doc Rivers, you know, post game press conference, he did talk a little about Paul George, which I'll talk about today, um, as well as what happened with the Jacob Blake situation. If you can't sympathize with what Doc is going with, as well as what the other players in the bubble are feeling with, it's like Doc says, if you're looking at the Jacob Blake video and you just are not offended, despite what race, whatever the color of your skin is, if you just aren't offended at not looking at that video, uh, look, all I gotta say is this: you can put a dislike if you have a different stance than me in this thing, but it's like Doc says, if you somehow aren't feeling some sort of way about an individual, a black man being shot in the back 7 times with his kids in the car, and you don't feel, any sort of way after what's been going on in this country, and you still don't feel something, one, you're not human. And two, you're just not a person that gives a crap to care about anybody and anybody's feelings. Look, I know I don't talk much about, the social injustices and stuff, especially on my channel, as well as just, just talking about it amongst people. You know, do I feel like, black people are treated unfairly? Yes, I do. I just find it even more disgusting is that there are some people out there, not only in America, but in this world, who can see videos like that where there's obviously, you know, ways that some policemen treat up people while compared to black people. That look, that I just wanted to give my thoughts. So, like I said, if you disagree with my stance, fine, put a dislike in the comment in the video. Fine, put a hate, comment. Now I know how you truly feel, and the fact that you're not a human being and you're not a good person. Well, then, yeah, okay. Either way, you can do that, and like anybody, I'll just be over here sipping my, well, not tea, but it's cranberry juice, but sipping my drink, just still again wondering why people have not realized that there are injustices going around. So I wanted to get that off my chest before anything, because like I said, if you haven't heard that press conference by Doc Rivers, that was something from the heart, he said. Obviously, he wanted to he wanted to say that, clearly. He clearly wanted to say that, after the game instead of as opposed before the game, because that just would have made his mind warp. But anyways, let's talk about the Clippers today, because the Clippers, I would say, dare I say, next to the Game 3 performance, this might have honestly been their best played game. Honestly, this is their best played game of the playoffs so far, as well as their best game in the series. I'm not even joking. Their best game in the series. They played defense for once, and when I mean defense, I mean trapping players like Luka Doncic that needed to be trapped. Paul George finally showed up out of the dark hole, he said in his press conference. Again, I'll talk about that, about, the Paul George stuff. As well as we had energy. We had the swag, the intensity that we've been lacking the first 4 games of this series. I was just in awe with how the energy when we went on that one run, I think in the first quarter was like, I was highly impressed. You have guys on the bench cheering everybody on after a made shot. The energy was there tonight. There may have been no fans, but the Clippers created that energy for the players, and it just rubbed off on everybody that touched the court and shot the ball and did that. And if they can replicate what they did here in Game 5 to Game 6 on Thursday, they're saying this to the Mavs. Goodbye. Personally, if you ask me, the Mavs have stayed in this series far too long. Honestly, if you ask me, this should have been the game where we kicked them out of the playoffs. But okay, we'll have to finish the job on Thursday. Hopefully the Mavs don't fire back and respond. But, you know, I just got to say this. And I saw, you know, a Twitter comment by somebody said that, you know, the Mavs winning the Game 4 game and the way they did was good for the Mavs because it gave them the confidence, like, yeah, we can hang in there. We can beat you guys. We took you to the limit. We came back on you guys. But then he also stated later on in his tweet, this is also bad for the Mavericks because, you know, obviously all the Clipper players saw that shot and the way the Mavericks were reacting after that Luka shot, and all the fact that Luka was legit screaming in their face and won. You know, like the thing in the Chicago Bulls documentary. Like Michael Jordan said, the Clippers all took that personally. And again, Game 6, they should take it personally and walk the Mavericks off the court. And when I mean walk the Mavericks, beat them again by almost damn near 40. After seeing this game, after seeing the defensive adjustments they made in this, you know, preparing for this game, we easily could have swept these guys, even with Porzingis. And for the people saying that the Clippers got lucky because Carlisle got ejected and Porzingis didn't even play, we've beaten the Dallas Mavericks with Kristaps Porzingis in this series. Game 3. Look at that. So the way I look at it, we really should have finished these guys off in 5 games, or hell, dare I say, we should have swept these guys. Because let's be honest, if the Clippers were playing serious from the beginning, from the jump, all series long, trapping Luka Doncic, playing defense where you actually say that, oh, Reggie Jackson actually played pretty solid defense tonight, and it's the same as other players, and there was no communication errors, and everybody was on point today. And Paul George was being the Paul George we all love and know. We sweep the Dallas Mavericks. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. Dallas is good. They're talented. I'll give them credit for you Dallas Maverick fans, you know, who are checking out the video. The Dallas Mavericks are a talented team. I say with that team, they don't go far, but if you maybe add a few more pieces and stuff like that, they'll be a team to be feared with. But other than that, the more I look at it, it's like, well, if we had just played this way, the way we played in Game 5, we could have swept these guys. Anyways, look, Thursday, the Clippers got to take care of business. Hopefully, they beat the living hell out of the Mavericks. This should be a demoralizing loss for the Mavericks, if anything, too, because now they're like, oh, well, I guess we really messed with the wrong team, huh? Which I've been saying for the Clippers to finally step up and do. This is the game I was talking about. This is the game I always wanted from the Clippers, where they just handle the Mavericks from beginning to end and make it known, as what Stone Cold Steve Austin loved to say when he wrestled. You guys are talented, but do you know who we are? Look at that. This was probably by far the Clippers' most perfect game they could have played, where things didn't go wrong. Now, we'll have to find, hopefully, going into Game 6, you know, things stay consistent. You know, Paul George is back to hitting his shots, you know, as well as, you know, the team plays this intense defense and this suffocating defense, which I love to see. All I can say is for Clipper fans alike, we can finally go to sleep peacefully tonight, because I swear I needed a win here too to freaking get that last game-winning shot from Luka out of my freaking not only head, but out of my mouth. Now, Game 4 is totally out of my mouth, out of my head. I'm like, I don't even care about Game 4 anymore. Game 5 literally made it so much better. And the fact that we blew them out, and the fact that we didn't give the Dallas Mavericks a chance to even get back in this game makes it much better. And the fact that I just saw a dejected Luka Doncic sitting on the bench looking like he was about to cry makes me sound a lot more better than him smiling at the last in game 4 at the end after hitting the game-winning shot. So, again, I'll probably say at the end of the video, but hopefully to a good game 6 where we knock these guys out for good and we don't have to see these guys till next year. Anyways, let's get into the team stats. Dallas, they hit 38 of their 85 shots attempted, while we hit 53 of our 84 shots attempted. Dallas's field goal percentage was 44.7 from the field, while ours was 63.1 from the field. Dallas made 12 three-pointers out of their 37 attempts, while we made 22 three-pointers out of our 35 attempts. Dallas went 32.4% from the three-point line, while we went 62.9 from the three-point line. One thing I did see that I mentioned as well, we had much better perimeter shooting. Our shooting was much better than games, I would say, honestly say games 1 through 4. We had much better perimeter shooting because when we were hitting our perimeter shots, the Dallas Mavericks could not stop us, which, again, I predicted. Dallas cannot stop us. They can nullify us. They can stop us in a few outbreaks, but they can't stop us. A free throw, the free throw percentage, Dallas was 69.7, or actually before that. Dallas had 23 free throws out of 33 attempts, while we had 26 out of 34 attempts. Both teams, honestly, this game didn't shoot really well from the free throw line, especially the Clippers and the Mavericks. Luka Doncic, he better work on his free throw shooting because that guy, he was missing a lot of free throws. As you can see, is the stats in the left-hand corner. He went 9 from 14 from the free throw line. For a superstar player, that's not good. He's almost LeBron-esque in terms of free throw shooting. The Clippers weren't good with free throw shootings either. There was several times where I was pulling, well, I barely have any hair, but you can say I was exaggerating pulling my hair out. Just the fact of how many free throws we were freaking missing. Like Kawhi missed, I think 5 free throws or 4 free throws. I'm like, dude, can we make our free throws, please? Anyways, yeah. Free throw percentage, the Mavericks was 69.7 from the free throw line, while we were 76.5 from the free throw line. We rebounded. The Dallas Mavericks had 31 rebounds, while we had 49 rebounds. Oh my God, I'm hiccuping a lot. We had much better assist total. Dallas had 19, we had 28. Dallas had 8 steals, while we had 5. Dallas had 6 blocks, while we had 4. Even though we had a high turnover ratio, we still won the game. Dallas had 13 turnovers, while the Clippers had 16. I would like the turnovers to be cut down. We had more fast break points than the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas had 8, while we had 19. We had more points in the paint. Dallas had 38. There are 44. We had more fouls than Dallas, but some of them fouls were kind of BS, but I digress. That was a point in the game, I think in the third quarter, where the refs were literally trying to get the Dallas Mavericks back into the game. I'm sorry, I just got to say this. I don't care. The MLB, the NBA, the reffing in both sports so far have been terrible. Hopefully, if the NFL is able to come back and stuff like that, which, my goodness, the NFL would have had a breakout in terms of COVID, in terms of positive testing for the virus. But that didn't happen because they were all false positives. So that testing company they're working with, they might want to change. But as I was saying, hopefully for the NFL, the referees don't start throwing flags all over the place. Because I'm sorry, the refereeing in baseball, I don't watch hockey, so I don't know. And the NBA, it's terrible. I heard the Blazers got unlucky because they couldn't get no calls whatsoever while the Lakers were getting everything to them. Okay, so regardless, let's get to the box score here, guys. Let's get to the box score. Let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks here today, guys. Because the Dallas Mavericks, by all means, played like dog crap today, which I loved because we finally made these fools, these bums, these clowns who've been talking all this crap thinking they can hang in with us, finally knocked them down a peg and made them realize, no, you're messing with the wrong effing team. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist in 14 minutes. 3 points, a minus 11. Good. 1 from 6 from the field. Who's this? Jaren Jackson? No, that's the bench. No, let's get to the starters. Max Kleber. In 28 minutes, he had 12 points. Honestly, probably his best game of the series. He was a minus 23 on the court. He went forward from 6 from the field. He had 2 3-pointers and hit 2 as free throws. He had 4 rebounds and 1 assist and 1 steal and 2 blocks. One of those blocks, I'll give him his credit. He made a really good block on Kawhi Leonard because Kawhi Leonard was about to yam it on him. I'll give him his credit where credit's due. Dorian Finney-Smith, 9 points, a minus 21 on the court. 3 of 6 from the field. Hit all his shots were all 3-pointers and made all of them. He had 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. 2 turnovers, too. Predictable from Dorian Finney-Smith. Trey Burke, who got the start today. 15 points. He had 15 points, but honestly, if you ask me, he was crap today. To minus 24. Hit 6 of 11, hit 2 of the 3-pointers, and made 1 of his free throws. He had 1 rebound and 2 assists. I was going to say this about Trey Burke. Yes, he's playing great this series, but gosh dang, man, it's Trey Burke. This bum has almost been run out of the league. And you could say, you can't call him a bum. He was a lottery pick. If you're almost run out of the league as a lottery pick, a top pick at best, come on. I personally think the Clippers are making him look better than what he already is because, let's be honest, in any Dallas Mavericks game I was watching, he didn't do nothing for me. So, yeah. Tim Hardaway Jr. continues to apparently be like his father, 19 points, minus 21 on the court. 7 of 14. Had 3 of his 3-pointers, 2 free throw attempts, made 2 of them out of his 2 free throw attempts, had 1 rebound, 3 assists. Again, it's like I said, Tim Hardaway Jr., apparently he's his dad now. He's playing great. Again, that's credit to him. He's hitting the shots. But listen, Tim Hardaway Jr., he's a nobody. The fact that the Clippers are having a 9-point per game score, average essentially around almost 20 points per game in this series, it's irritating and it's frustrating to me. There's no way in hell Tim Hardaway Jr. should have damn near 20 points almost every game. Tim Hardaway Jr., again, like I said, is another bum who's getting off the hook because the Clippers are not guarding him like they should guard him. Check up his regular season stats. He's like a 9.9 points per game scorer. Yeah. Luka Doncic, again, who I would say this is probably his second worst game in the series. We hounded this guy, and I'll talk about this in things that I like. We finally decided to trap him. My God. It took them 5 games for the Clippers to realize, maybe we should trap Luka Doncic, and he'll probably be nullified. Well, look at the stats. Even though he had 22 points, he went 6 from 17 from the field. He only hit 1 of his 3-point attempts. Heck, funny thing, there was 2 times he went up against Zoo and shot the 3, missed. Maybe he should have had Zoo on that last possession in Game 4. He went 9 from 14 from the free throw line. Again, dude probably needs to work on his free throw shots. Had 8 rebounds, had 4 assists, and 1 block. Luka Doncic did nothing in this game. Much of anything, he did nothing. He also picked up a technical as well because the one thing I always saw, well, honestly, if you ask me, the entire thing I've been seeing about the series is Luka Doncic crying. Why am I getting the fouls? And stuff like that. Man, stop being a baby and play basketball. Look, that's what I saw. He did this in 31 minutes. There was a stretch where it's like, dude, why is this guy still out there playing? They're getting blown out. So, yeah, but the Clippers did a good job. They finally trapped him. So hopefully that continues in Game 6. Again, I already get the Michael Kidd-Gilchrist stat line. Jaren Jackson, he was playing for a bench player. Boban only had 5 points. It was a minus 19 on the court. Dare I say Trez, played against him pretty well. Mostly because they had the Clippers, mostly when they needed to help Trez out, they got the help. And honestly, Boban did next to nothing. So Trez guarding Boban was probably the first good game that he's guarded Boban. Dorell Wright, had 11 points, and he was a minus 18 on the court. He had 5 of his 7 shots, made 1 of his 3-point shots, and 1 rebound, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Steph Curry! Four points. Thank the Lord. Steph Curry held to 4 points. I hope that continues in game 6. But the fact that this man, Steph Curry, was scoring damn near almost 20 points. Well, he had 22 points, I believe, in game 4. But the fact that this man was scoring almost like his damn brother, Steph Curry, and like his daddy, Del Curry. No. I don't care if he played for Duke. He's a bum himself. There's a reason why he's been around the league how many freaking times on many teams. I like to see that. He went 2 for 6 from the field. 0 3-pointers, 2 rebounds, 0 assists. Again, Steph Curry. I like the way the Clippers played him. Plus, they didn't jump as much on Steph Curry as they did in the first 4 games, which is another thing about the defense I loved. They didn't jump, when these Dallas Maverick players were just pump faking. They didn't jump. Steph Curry is another person. And the fact that he had, he's a minus 27 on the court. The fact that they held him to 4 points, again, let's do that again. And yeah, so stuff like that. And I hope Paul George probably talked some trash on him and said, don't ever call me what he called him in the last game. Because if you don't know what he called him, I'm not going to say it on this. I'm not going to say it in the video, just obviously because of YouTube reasons. But yeah. I hope Paul George said, hey, never call me that again. So yeah. That was hopefully that's a toast to Steph Curry not being like Steph in game 6. I don't need to talk about the other dudes. The other dudes just played essentially garbage time minutes. Let's get to the Clippers offense, which I love. Kawhi Leonard in 30 minutes had 32 points, was a plus 24 in the court. He had 12 of his 19 shots. And I believe this is the 4th game in a row where Kawhi Leonard drops 30. That's play of Kawhi for you. He had 2 of his 4 3-pointers. He didn't have the best of shooting from the free throw line. He went 6 of 11, so hopefully that cleans up. He had 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal and 1 block. Marcus Morris Sr., another good game for him. 12 points. He did not intentionally try to step on Luka Doncic's shoe. People are thinking, oh, the Clippers are so dirty. They're trying to hurt Luka. No, they didn't. He just stepped on his foot accidentally. It happens. Please. This is just the NBA fans hating on the Clippers because we do so much talking and stuff like that, and we pump our chest and we're dogs, essentially, and we're hungry for teams. They just think it as we're like, but what can I say? I don't care. If we're the most hated team in the league, fine by it. And when we win the championship, which I hope we do, I'll be the last one with my cup of tea, sipping and laughing at all the people who hates on us. Again, he had another good game. Went 4 of 8 from the field. Hit 4 of his 3-point attempts. Love that. 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal. Ivica Zubac, even though he didn't do much, well, he actually did a lot. In 24 minutes, he had 9 points. He was great, plus 10 on the court. He was 2 from 2 in the field goal, no threes. Hit 5 of 6 for free throws. Had 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Keep it up, Zubac. Keep it up. Love what I'm seeing from Zoo. Paul George, my guy. Thank you. Thank you. Paul George, hopefully has another good game in Game 6. But for everybody that called Paul George to rebound and have a really good game, shout-outs to you. Now, I wasn't one of them, but shout-outs to the people who did that. Paul George was great tonight. This was the Paul George we should have got in games 1 and 2 through 4. It's about time he showed up. Hopefully he continues to show up. Hopefully this is a sign of good things to come. You know, another thing for Paul George, stay off the social media, please and thank you. Do not listen to anybody. I heard the press conference. He said he was in a dark place because of it. Okay. It shows that he's very obviously mentally weak. I'm just going to be honest with you. Hopefully that flushed out of his mind. You know, he does not look at social media. If I was him, I'd just honestly just delete your Instagram and your Twitter. And until the playoffs over, until the playoffs are over, whether we get kicked out early, you know, in the Western Conference Finals or the NBA Finals, we lose the NBA Finals or make it to the NBA Finals or win it, that's when you can have it back. But for the time being, stay off social media, please and thank you. But if he listening to social media, trust me, he'll have a lot of people in his DMs, his mentions and stuff like that, and he'll probably like the much more better feedback from what Clipper fans and maybe some other NBA fans alike are saying. Because from what I've seen, purely positive. Personally, I want him to stay off social media. Just stay off it for the rest of the playoffs. Do not go back on it. He was a plus 23 on the court. He was 12 from 18 from the line, so much better. He hit more than 10 free field goals this time. He had 4 of his 8 3-point attempted. He was 7 from 7 from the line, so he went to the basket. He went to go get fouled, and he got aggressive going up and getting fouled. Like, I saw a much different Paul George here. When he drove in, he was looking like a man on a mission to go get fouled. And when he got the calls, guess what? There you go. And then you can just see the confidence was back. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, had 2 turnovers. But yeah, Paul George, I want him to play like this going forward. Andrew Shaman, another good guy, another good player starting today. 11 points. He was a plus 22. He was 3 from 4 from the field. All the points he had was 2 were from the free throw line, and then the rest were from the 3-point line. He had 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals. So yeah. Now, if you watch the Clippers broadcast, I don't know if you watched the TNT broadcast. If you watch the TNT broadcast, I heard Chris Webber was disgusting on commentary tonight. But if you watch the Clippers broadcast, they showed Patrick Beverley. And obviously, it seems because they showed him warming up during the game, like going up against some players and stuff like that. He looks fine to me. So hopefully that's a sign for him good to be coming back from the calf injury. Because if we had lost tonight's game, I would have been clamoring, okay, we need to see him. Pat Patterson had 9 points, but that was garbage time. I'm not really going to give the stats for that. So yeah, JaMychal Green, even though, he had 0 points, he was really good today. He was a plus 7 on the court. Montrezl Harrell, who probably had his best game in the bubble by far, had 19 points, was a plus 34 on the court, which is the highest plus or minus rating on the team. While Paul George was the leading scorer, and again, Paul George is the MVP of tonight's game. Montrezl Harrell in 23 minutes went 7 from 11 from the field. He hit 1 3-pointer. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. If Montrezl Harrell can get a jump shot and make, jump shots, this man is dangerous. He had made 4 of his free throws from 5 attempted. He had 11 rebounds, so he had a double-double, 1 assist. So, yeah, he was good. He was good today. Reggie Jackson, another positive. Like I said, Reggie Jackson played a good offensive game, and dare I say, he played a pretty good defensive game. There was a few times, people got him off their dribble, and, you could still see the defensive deficiencies there. But, again, dare I say, I saw Reggie Jackson play more inspired defense tonight. He played much more better defense than in the 4 games combined. If you're telling me I'm going to have Reggie Jackson playing at least subpar defense, where he's trying, where it looks like he's trying, I'll take it. Now, don't put him on. Now, that doesn't mean I'm still on like, oh, yada yada yada. I'm still not on the bandwagon of him leaving him out there when the game's on the line. No, don't put that on the thing. But essentially, this made the Mavericks rethink. Oh, now he's playing actually pretty decent defense. I guess we shouldn't pick on him as much as we did. He made 4 shots out of 7. He had 3 out of his 4 3 points. One of his shots today was a driving layup, but most of his shots were spot up 3-pointers, especially in the corners. Keep doing that. He had 3 rebounds, and 5 assists. So yeah, that was good. Lou Williams, he didn't play nearly as good as the last game, which I feel like we squandered that opportunity. But he had 8 points. He was a +8. He hit 4 of his 7 shots, missed 1 3, missed 1 of his free throws, which was an and-1. He had 3 rebounds and 2 assists. Roddy McGruder, Terrence Mann, and Amir Coffey, I don't really have to talk much about because they were in garbage time. But yes, listen, from this team, this was a complete team offensive performance, which I loved. I hope this is good going forward. And yeah, as I stop the share, like I said, stat-wise, the team looked really good, and I was very impressed. I was very impressed that the coaching staff, they made the necessary adjustments. As like I said, again, like I did with my game 3, I have to give a round of applause to Doc Rivers and the coaching staff for making the necessary adjustments. Again, one of the good things I saw. For the love of everybody, every Clippers fan and Clippers reporter who was saying this on their podcast or on their videos, who were making videos about the Clippers, finally, we decided to start trapping Luka Doncic, where we just forced the ball out of his hand. It was about time we finally saw that. And when I was seeing that, I was like, oh my God, we're finally trapping him, making him give up the ball, passing it up to somebody to make a contested shot, which was great. So hopefully that continues in Game 6. And if Porzingis plays in Game 6, do the same thing. Another thing, I saw much better defensive communication. You had players who were, moving, to the spots they needed to move on in terms of defense, more communicating going on. Obviously, there was not much switching going on, so which leads to the less defensive issue stuff. You had guys fighting over screens and stuff like that. You really saw a determined Clippers team to be like, okay, you guys got the upper hand on us, and you guys got lucky, when we were up 21 on you guys last game. Yeah, let's make sure that's not happening, there's another positive I love, which is probably the other last positive thing I got to go. Well, actually, I'm going to end off with Paul George. But we got up big, and we never faltered. We kept the same energy, the same defensive intensity, and we never slowed down. We did not let the Dallas Mavericks, like last game, get back in the game. And that was the one thing I guarantee you every Clipper fan was saying watching the game. I'm like, I should be hyped that we're up big. But at the same time, based on what happened in Game 4, yeah, I'm going to wait till it's 0-0 in the 4th. I love the fact that they did not give up a massive, lead they had and let Dallas get back in the game like they did in Game 4. Because then that would have really shot the Clippers' confidence if that would have happened. And again, like I said, they got physical with these Mavs players, and they were like, "Nah, you guys are not doing this no more. It's like I said when I was referencing that tweet. It was a good thing the Mavs won because it gave them confidence. Bad thing is, it told the Clippers to be like, it had the Clippers looking on the other side and like, these mother effers really thought they're gonna beat us. They got lucky because we were up 21 on these guys last game, and they just barely get past us in overtime. And I guarantee you that was when the Clippers all went back to the rooms and they were like, no, we can't let this happen. We can't let this happen. These clowns are hanging in there, and they have no business hanging in a series when we're the more dominant team. Tonight's game was a team where they had said in their press conference, they know the team they are, and they backed it up tonight. Everything they said, they backed it up tonight. Again, credit to Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers said Ty Lue and Rex Chaplin, I think Kaplan, I don't know how you pronounce his last name, but Rex, he credits them for the defensive, stuff. So good on the coaching staff. They obviously took their time, after game 4, watched the film, and, made sure, hey, we are shutting stuff down. Now, hopefully in game 6, because we did it to Steph Curry. Now, let's end off game 6 where we shut down Tim Hardaway Jr. and Trey. I'd be much appreciated that. Now, let's end off the video on a positive note, and that's the fact that Paul George came back, and he's good, and hopefully he's back for good, where we can see his 20-point per game score, the MVP, self of him we all love and know. He was great. His press conference at the end, if you don't watch on the TNT thing, he said clearly, he was in a dark place mentally, and, he had to talk to people and stuff like that. Listen, like I said, it clearly shows people were getting to him, and all he needed to do was block up the noise. Like Jermichael Green said in his press conference, I believe yesterday, is that, look, we've been telling this guy, like, don't listen, don't look at what's on social media. Just worry about your game. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, if Paul George can continue not to look at the social media, not look at the hate, okay, good. You're going to have a bad game here and there every now and then. I respect that. I just need you not to have those big games and essentially, back to back, where it could potentially cost us a series. I need the Paul George that will go out there, give me, the performance he had today, whether it's scoring 25, 35, maybe dropping 40. This was his retaliation game. Again, hopefully he keeps it up. And, in game 6, he has more than 20. Again, because like you saw, the Mavericks can't stop Kawhi when he's dropping 32. And they definitely can't stop Paul George if he's adding along with that, dropping 35. At that point, they're at a complete mismatch. And all you need to do is get a third scorer in there, which is either between Lou Williams or Montrezl Harrell, and then they're totally cooked. Especially when you add with the fact that they're playing physical defense and stuff like that. We're hitting shots. Like I said, this is the Clippers team tonight I saw where this is the Clipper team I know we can beat anybody in the league, regardless who it is. Now, hopefully, again, like I said, in Game 6, we knock these guys out. I envision Porzingis is going to play it because it's the Dallas Mavericks' potentially last game of the season, unless they force a Game 7. Hopefully the Clippers come out. Listen, make some adjustments here and there, but essentially replicate what you did here in Game 6. In Game 5. Just replicate that. That's what the Game 6, keys to the game is. Replicate Game 5 as well as kind of Game 3 as well. And stuff like that. And finish the clown Dallas Mavericks off. So you don't have to see these guys. You can talk all your trash to these guys and say, get the hell out of the bubble. I don't have to see you guys no more. Go back to Dallas. Go back home and watch the playoffs on the couch. That's what I expect. Hopefully we blow these guys out again. Now, Dallas will probably have more of a fight next game. I envision that. It might be a tough game to win, but, hey, if we blow these guys out, we blow these guys out again. I'm saying this. If we can blow these guys out, what about Porzingis? I definitely believe we can blow these guys out with Porzingis. We just got to play that same aggressive defense we've been playing. It's just simple stuff. And guess what? Finish this off. We don't even know what that Utah Jazz, the Utah Jazz Denver Nuggets series is going to go like. At first, it looked like we might be playing the Jazz if we advance. But Denver won today, and Denver has to win 2 more games to win the series. So hopefully the Clippers are betting their best dollar. Denver makes it a series and maybe potentially forces it to 7 games so the Clippers can get that extra amount of rest. So, if they win tomorrow, hopefully they become big Denver fans and trying to force a Game 7. Now, who would I rather see in the playoffs, probably I'd rather see Utah, to be honest, because I don't want to see I don't want to see Denver, especially if they're hitting, because Denver gets annoying after a while. But regardless, I'll play anybody because I know we're better than either Denver or Utah. We're just obviously gonna have to watch out for either both because their scores are going crazy. But yeah, so hopefully Denver pushes Utah to a 7-game series while we finish it off on Thursday. So yeah, so I'll be back Thursday to give my playoff game recap. Hopefully it's not in defeat. Hopefully it's me, able to celebrate and put out streamers for getting past the first round, which I will say if we win on Thursday, I will give credit to the Mavs where credit's due. They are pushing us, and they made a series, and they made us work to win, which hopefully that's good things to come, where it's like now, we can't underestimate these teams going forward. So, yeah, so that's really all I got to say. Yeah, so I like the Clippers, the way they played. By far their best performance in the playoffs. And, yeah, let's hopefully get a Game 6 win. But all I can say is this. Thank goodness I can go to sleep in peace, and I don't have to think about the terrible Game 4 loss. Thank goodness. Now, literally, that's like the Game 4 loss. I can't even think of it anymore, which makes things much better. So I don't have to wake up. I don't have to sleep just replaying the Luka Doncic shot over and over and over and over again. Okay, I'm going to get out of here. Hopefully, we win Game 6, and I'll see you guys back for the playoff recap after the Game 6 victory, maybe defeat. I also probably think it's probably because we are back on Prime Ticket as well. So yeah. Other than that, I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna get out of this. So if you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on the Clippers win, or even what Doc said, and your thoughts as well on that situation. Hit the subscribe button if you want to get more Clippers playoff content. Well, if you want to see more Clippers playoff content, because I'll be giving playoff recaps for every game in the playoffs the Clippers are playing, win or lose. So other than that, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Hopefully you guys hopefully you Clipper fans have a great rest of your night. Until then, guys, I'll see you guys on Thursday for Game 6's playoff recap.